Good morning, millennials.
Welcome back to The Toast and happy Thursday. That doesn't feel like a Friday, which is disgusting because it should be a Friday. Anybody else feel that way?
I feel that way. I feel like yesterday I was sharing how this week felt really slow. Mm-hmm. And do you find that it's felt slow?
I find, and my week has been sort of like disturbed in a sense because I went out not once but 2 weeknights in a row. Like, what the fuck? Like,
I saw you, Shea Margot.
Yeah, I was like out and about. What did I do 2 nights ago?
You went to Premier Protein.
Thank you. I had an appearance, if you will. The last night I had dinner with Brian. Like, who do I think I am? 2 nights in a row? I could pass away.
I know. I'm so sorry, Latur. Last night I did not go out. However, I did do my homework because I wrote it down in my notebook. I watched Juror number 2. Let me just cross that off the list. So do you want to recap it at the end of this? Even though, like, I don't think anyone's talking about that movie. It's like movies people want us to recap. Us, Juror number 2.
Well, we don't need like a formal recap. Just let me know if you liked it.
So I did like it. However, I didn't have any preconceived notions about it, except that I assumed that it was going to be a true story for a couple of reasons. One, you said something on the show that now I understand what you were saying, but at the time I thought you were saying, like, you said when I was watching it, I didn't realize what I was watching until halfway through. I thought you realized what case it was.
No. I had no idea the premise of the movie. So when he has that first flashback in the juror stand, I'm like, oh, how crazy. This guy was at the same bar. Like,
yeah.
And then I'm like, oh my God, wait, no, he was there and he did it. I was like, wait. Like, it's just a kind of a brilliant premise for a movie.
So just the name of the movie and the marketing, I just assumed that this was a movie about a true story and a real juror, like kind of like 12 Angry Men, you know, where it's like, it literally reminded me of 12 Angry Men, but then, you know, the angry man was not the one who, spoiler alert, actually, I just won't say anything. The second thing, I did
feel like there was a big issue I had with the plot.
Okay.
And it was that J.K. Simmons' character, like stumbling upon this list of cars and finding that one of them belonged to the other jury member. Like, I wish he didn't know that. Like, it was a little too convenient. Like, I wish like, you know, the main character saw his car in the list and like had to throw the papers away. But like, J.K. Simmons, are you dumb?
Yeah, no, I think he was actually being like, that's your, like, he really didn't expect, because what are the odds?
Yeah, of course.
Which is why when I thought it was a true story, if I knew it was fake, I'd been like, this is too fake. So I'm actually glad that I had to really hold it to account by thinking it was true. And then the other thing is, now I agree with you. Like, why wasn't this nominated for anything? Every single major actor is in it. It was a very good movie. I enjoyed watching it. Like, it kept me on my toes. It wasn't like so much fun, but I was into it.
No, I had a pit.
It's a Clint Eastwood movie. Every single person is of note. Why wouldn't this be nominated for literally anything or one person? And I just assumed it was a true story because the last Clint Eastwood movie that I watched was 1517 to Paris, about the heroes, the American heroes who took down a terrorist on the train, and in that movie, like, the heroes played themselves.
I heard the movie was horrible,
which was just a lot. It was
not to clown on the heroes, because heroes are heroes, but heroes are heroes. They aren't actors, and I heard that movie was bad.
No, the movie was bad, and because I just thought like Clint Eastwood was doing true stories. Now, also, did you know that his daughter plays the girlfriend in this movie? His daughter Francesca played the killed girl.
Wait.
And like, she really doesn't look like herself. But then I
know her from her iconic
Mrs. Eastwood and Co. Of course.
Yes. Juror number 2. Oh my God, wait, I'm freaking.
And so a couple times they showed her, I was like, is that the daughter? She really didn't look like her. And then the next time they showed her, I was like, let me look for her face. And it was her.
No, it didn't even cross my
Claudia,
mind.
It's Clint Eastwood's daughter plays the girlfriend.
She plays Kendall Carter.
And she's so gorgeous.
So wait, this is the girl with the Birkin and Tyler Shields? Mm-hmm. Like, you're lying.
No.
Wait, fun fact. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I just feel like this movie's not really getting like the legs that it deserves, but it was reminding me of like My Cousin Vinny with a little bit of Juror number 2, of 12 Angry Men. And I thought it was like a good think piece. It definitely gives you a pit. I feel like literally 5 people listening to the show have watched the movie, and they might have even turned off today's podcast by now because like, who cares about this movie? I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to.
So move on.
But maybe at the end, I'll just say like the thing that I have to say that would spoil it. Okay.
Okay. I have something to say about our big Toast theme song competition.
Like, oh my gosh.
Is the competition off to the races? Like, I was nervous nobody was going to submit, but of course they were going to submit. We got a ton of submissions yesterday. It's only day one. I don't want to discourage anybody. We have not chosen a winner. We are watching, we are enjoying. We're not even thinking about a winner. So you have until Sunday to get your submissions in. But I do want to make a little bit of an announcement that we should have included on yesterday's major announcement, is that if you're generating a song from AI, I don't care how good the song is, like you are disqualified.
It's just, even though some of them have been really good, first of all, the AI songs sound more like what should be your next single, not a theme song for the show. So that's a different conversation, but it's just not in the spirit of this competition to just generate something
competition
for AI.
To create original lyrics, original music. And so if your song is AI generated, I love you for participating, but you are not qualified.
I also feel like a lot of the AI generated songs focus too much on like the toast as a piece of bread, and real ones know. Like AI is obviously not a toaster yet, but they would know like that has nothing to do with the show and the song.
Premise.
Yeah. So
I'm loving what we're seeing so far.
I'm loving it. Do you have I have two front runners in my head. What do you think?
Okay, so I have two front runners too so far. Now I want to, the song that we end up with, like I do have some changes that I want to request from the songwriter upon handing over the song. Like neither are perfect, you know? But again, like I'm fully open to more submissions. I'm loving this journey. And I've really been surprised at how quickly people have come up with like really cute stuff.
No, agreed. And I love what we've seen so far. However, I also feel like the best is yet to come, because I feel like the real Matthew Comas of the world are still in the studio laying down tracks. And so like the things that are going to come in the next few days might actually be even more produced than what we've already seen. Yeah. So even though like I have two that I would be like so proud to play at the beginning of the show, I'm holding space that like the winner might not even have submitted yet.
The best is yet to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, take your time. There's no, award for finishing the quickest. So that's what she said.
I'm following the hashtag, so I'm seeing everything.
Me too. Although like the majority of the competition is taking place on TikTok. And I have to say, like, it has been like a true nightmare to have to share all those with you. And I wanted to let everybody know, if you really want to be taken seriously and I can't download your video for whatever reason, some people have like privacy settings on, it doesn't bode well. So make sure your privacy settings are set to where I can DNS it for Jackie.
Yeah. Also, we were watching Juror number 2 last night, so we were busy. But at the end of each day, I will go on Zach's phone and look at the TikTok videos. But you just have to like just know that for you, Claudia, like until the end of the day, I won't have seen them all. So
got it.
If you want me to see something, yes, you do have to DNS.
Big TikTok news they announced yesterday is that not only do we have until Sunday, but it wasn't as previously reported that the app is going to just, disappear from the App Store. But if you have it on your phone, it's going to continue to work. They plan on shutting down U.S. operations on Sunday. So I think the app itself will stop working.
Like you'll click it and there'll be a link to a website about the ban.
Damn. And now it's really setting in for me. Now, I feel happy that, I feel like when I was coming up as like a content creator, everybody was like, well, what would you do if Instagram disappears? And it's like, well, it's not, so shut up. Well, I'm sure people who got their careers, started on TikTok, their friends and family have been like, well, what would you do if TikTok disappears? And like now that's actually a reality. So my heart goes out to people who have created careers like and not really become multi-platform and started YouTube channels or Instagram followings. For me, like as a creator in terms of like my job, TikTok like creates revenue for me, but it's not my biggest platform, and it's not
germane to the operation.
Yeah, it's supplemental to the podcast and my Instagram. So I have other things outside of it. So I feel as like a internet personality, like I feel safe. But I do worry about like the swirlies who popped off in COVID and had millions of followers and like have been doing, but didn't expand beyond that, like starting a YouTube channel or a podcast or something else. And not to be like a Patricia Altschul, but anytime like a creator like asks me for advice, I always tell them like to go off platform, like have a million different things because you really never know. And
yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how the landscape of like your favorite creators exist outside of TikTok. A lot of them have transcended the platform and like now we don't even think of them as TikTokers.
No, and they're on Instagram.
A lot of them have it.
And if they're a lot of people's favorite creators, then of course you're going to follow your favorite creator wherever they go next. So I think it will be more so for people who kind of like blew up, didn't do much after that, but was like kind of resting on their laurels of like having a big following for one reason or another. But most of the big creators, like they are multi-platform. They post their videos to Reels. Like I think a lot of people will be okay, but you will have to put on your businesswoman and man panties
and get creative
and start to enterprise.
Yeah, and starts to franchise. Exactly. I love that.
Yeah.
So as somebody who's like heavily interested in the media landscape of influencers and content creators, I do think this will be really interesting to see. I think it'll be detrimental for some people, and for some people they won't be affected. I think it depends on what you've done with your time so far.
Yeah.
But the app is like actually like allegedly, and then they say like Trump's gonna save it. Now Biden's saying, wait, I want in. Like, I feel like everybody, like someone wants to look like the hero here, because like, oh, if you're a politician and you want Gen Z to fucking love you, save this dumb app. Like, just do it. They're all going to Red Note already and like signing up for the Chinese army. Like,
right. That's really funny.
Like the terms and conditions are all in Chinese. Like, who knows what, literally the whole app is in Chinese. Like, who knows what they're signing up for? So it's actually, people's alternatives are worse. So just figure it out.
Maybe TikTok wasn't so bad.
Right. As we all march off to General Chi, you know?
I do think that it will be banned Sunday and then it will be back early next week.
Monday
That's
morning.
what I think. It's like part of the first 100
days
executive orders. Yeah.
Also, I was just reading a tweet. Monday of next week is MLK Day, Inauguration Day. It was the first day without TikTok, and it's like a big college football day. Like it's like everything is happening on one day next week.
Countdown too. It really feels that way. Plus, like, it will be a few days after Molly May's documentary, so we'll all still be like reeling from that. Also, the inauguration performers like are kind of starting to pop off.
I feel like once Carrie Underwood took the bullet,
she took the wheel.
Gavin DeGraw was more than happy to follow suit. Like,
Gavin DeGraw,
no
you
one
guys,
wants to be
Rascal Flatts is reuniting to perform at the inauguration. Like, it's turning into Jack's Fest.
Yeah, MAGA Ball equals Jackie Ball. Like, literally, nobody wanted to be like the first one. Because even when I think about like mainstream people who are like publicly fans of Trump, like I think of Kid Rock, who's like, he doesn't have much to lose right now. Like, he's not like touring or whatever. I think of Jason Aldean, and I think like definitely that was like a big thing for him. But I don't know, it doesn't feel as different. For a woman to do it, it's like actually so much different. So for Carrie Underwood to like bear the brunt of it, she is taking the heat forever, and everyone else is just sort of like scurrying in behind her. Rascal Flatts, Gavin DeGraw.
So are Rascal Flatts, Gavin DeGraw, and Jason Aldean is also performing. Are they performing at the inauguration or like at other things?
There's like a ball, and then, but like, where's the one that's on TV?
No, and also like if Rascal Flatts are performing and it's not on TV, are you kidding me?
Right. Well, we're just gonna have to take a trip to Uncasville.
Oh, I am going to Uncasville, but I'm not taking a trip to DC to see them. I could do that like for their tour.
I smell like barbecue. Maybe the building's burning. No, someone's like definitely cooking. I love the smell of barbecue.
Yeah, it is a good one.
I also feel like I'm just like phantom smelling things that I wish I was eating.
Do you wish you were eating barbecue?
I wish I was eating, period. Like, that's just kind of where I'm at.
Understood.
I want to talk about Tums.
Okay. Pop off.
Tums have become, I mean, they've always been really important to me. And what's so crazy is you and I didn't grow up in like a Tums household. Like, we grew up in a household where like we took Advil. We weren't like Christian Scientists, but like, you know, everybody gravitates towards their own pharmaceuticals. And I don't know, we didn't grow up in like a house with like gastrointestinal issues.
A family with tummy issues.
No, we have like headaches and pains and joints. That's why we love Advil. But I don't know. Okay, so then when I started dating Ben, one thing about Ben is like ever since he was in high school. He's a tummy issue man. Well, yes, but ever since he was in high school, Ben drives everywhere. That's like his thing. They used to call him the vehicle because he was huge, but also because he always had a vehicle. And when we were dating, we spent a lot of time in his car, and him and his family, like they're a Tums family.
What were you doing in the car?
Fucking. I'm kidding. They had, Jackie, the biggest vat of Tums you've ever seen. I actually think it was like generic brand from like Costco. Like they don't even make Tums this big.
Yeah.
And I remember like Ben made me take one once. Like I don't even think I was feeling anything. I'm just like, what are Tums? Like I've always seen them. Lo and behold, it was a slippery slope. It was a gateway drug. And like now I truly can't live without Tums, especially
in pregnancy. Yeah.
And Tums is innovating constantly. I feel like they've been around forever, but like they're unscented, unflavored, like OG pieces of chalk, like are their bread and butter. But now they make a bunch of different facoct. You know, they have the smoothie ones, which I like, but they've recently reformulated, and not reformulated, they offer a second variety, a second formula. And they're like Skittles. They're like extra large Skittles. They're like hard candy shell and then like chewy gummy on the inside. I believe they're called the Chewy Bites. I have the assorted berries flavor right here. I want to say they're terrible.
They don't work.
They taste good, obviously. Like, yeah, Skittles taste good too. They don't work.
No, they don't work.
We got duped, like, because the the package is so much better than that like stupid roll, and it's like colorful and it tastes good.
And like crunching on that chalk is icky. So if you don't have to do that, like that would be nice, but it's not as effective.
Yeah, I feel like I need RFK to look into this. I just feel like it's not.
RFK's gotten to work. You see that red dye ban?
I did, and then it got me thinking, do you think that there's red 3? And like these are red.
Look at the ingredients.
Yep.
There are other red dyes, obviously red 40, which is also not
red
good.
40.
But apparently the dye that was banned is even worse than red 40. It's been banned in cosmetics, so we're ingesting it. We couldn't even put it on our skin. That's so crazy. I look forward to more changes like this. It's been really positive.
No, actually, oh wait.
There's definitely not.
Oh my God, wait. You're going to die. There's red 40 in here.
I believe that's
really
red.
Crazy. And there's yellow and blue numbers. Do we care about those?
Food colorings aren't great, but red 40 is worse. And also, red 40 is also just bad for kids. I don't know how much it affects adults, but also does it affect, does it make like, in utero them all hyper? I don't know.
Oh my God, baby starts kicking. I think I've started to feel kicks.
Oh, it starts as like flutters, right? Are you feeling flutters?
Yeah, okay. I'm feeling what I thought was gas, and I'm like, damn, I've been having so much gas at night. And then when I went to my pelvic floor therapy, she was like, have you felt any kicks? I'm like, no. But like, does it feel like bubbles like in your pussy?
It's the flutters,
She was like, yeah.
At first, and then it will be an unmistakable foot.
So no, I'm definitely like, I'm feeling kicks galore.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I think we've got a little soccer star on our hands.
Oh, that's a classic saying.
There's a couple of classic sayings. I've actually ended up on like a side of TikTok where they're like, like talking about classic sayings that they hate. And like people are like, how inappropriate is when they say, oh, she's going to be a heartbreaker. I'm like, no, that's cute. You're calling her pretty. Like, thanks.
I know. People,
I have no problem with it.
I know. They're just like, they just want to be a part of the like offended party. It's victim, like fun to be.
No, we live in a society that places a lot of value on victimhood. Mm-hmm. So I think everybody's like always attaching themselves to like, well, I'm a woman. I'm a Jewish woman. I'm a queer Jewish woman. Like however many things you can like tally makes you like more valuable.
More like powerful.
And let's just be clear. Like I am a pregnant Jewish woman. A plus size Jewish woman.
And pregnant. So you could.
Yeah, but I feel like pregnant is like temporary. So you can't.
No. Oh my God. I'm sorry. If there's ever a sect of society that we would actually give a pass for, it would be the pregnant woman.
1,000%.
And the thing is, it is temporary, so you don't have it forever. Yield it while you can.
And what about the quiet woman?
Well, the quiet woman. Let's talk about her, since she can't speak for herself.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Since she can't speak for herself.
It's Thursday, which is always so nice, where it's like, we don't have Dear Toasters, we don't have a TV recap, we don't have Queenie and Weenie. It's just your girls.
It's just your girls. We have really good stories. I've got 6. Maybe I'll do a choose your adventure. Maybe I'll give you a choose.
I am on like content watch for one of our stories. I'm not convinced that the Matt James story ends here.
Okay.
So I will be checking my phone periodically if you see me, just to make sure like he hasn't said, hey guys, I've been hacked,
Yes. Okay. Well, that's a little teaser for the stories. And I guess without further ado, we could get into them. So now, what's today's date? I also had another countdown.
I'm going to tell you. Wait, let me guess.
Because you want to know something? There's something that I haven't shared. I feel like I've been really quiet at the Redheads because the book I chose for this month, it publishes today. So we had to like wait a week till people could buy it.
That's really crazy.
I know, but I was like, it was an AI recommendation. They recommended a bunch of books. I had read some. This one looked really good. I was like, you know what? It will be like super new and great, but it's like, you can't buy it. It's like sold out, and I think I have to.
And then also, if you're doing like Libby, it makes it really hard if it's like a brand new book.
So all eyes on Redheads, because I might have to change the book.
Yikes.
I'll still go to read it in my personal time because it looked good, and I did pre-order it, but it's kind of a mess. Like
that's unprecedented, where you might have to like renege on a choice.
We actually had to do it once because Snitch chose a book that was unavailable to buy anywhere. It wasn't even on Kindle.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's happened before, but it's a pain in the ass, and I'll deal with it. So yes, to be a redhead.
Well, I feel as though it is time.
It is time for the Fast 5 stories that you need to know.
And the Fast 5 stories that you need to know are brought to you by Skims. Skims bras and underwear are the best intimates that you will ever own. My top drawer is slowly becoming all Skims, especially like I'm in the phase of my life where I'm buying new underwear and bras like every month. And Skims is a great place for that, especially because I'm very sensitive to like, underwire to certain fits to certain waistbands, and I really feel like Skims makes great ones. They're super size inclusive, so I'm getting bigger underwear like every week, and Skims is a great place to shop. Also, I have huge boobs, so I can't be like shopping at a regular bra store where they stop at a 34C. I've been a 34C since I'm 11, okay? Their intimates are truly the unsung heroes of their store, and nobody does it like Skims. To say we're obsessed is an understatement. Their Fits Everybody collection, which is what I've been living in, especially like the bras. I call it my relaxation bras, but it's the Fits Everybody collection. I have the racerback bralette. I have the scoop neck bralette. I can't be like walking around my house these days without a bra. And so I need like an in-between bra, and that's my Skims one. They really just have the best intimates. The Fits Everybody collection and more can be shopped at skims.com. And they now have a New York flagship store on Fifth Avenue, which is so fabulous. Also, my favorite department store now has a big Skims shop inside. They're popping up everywhere. I saw them at Nordstrom's, but I shop at Bloomingdale's, as you guys know. They have a big Skims on the 5th floor. After you place your order, be sure to let them know that we sent you. Select podcasts in the survey that follows, and be sure to select our show in the drop-down menu. That's skims.com, and check out their new flagship store on Fifth Avenue in New York City, skims, skims.com. Today's episode is also brought to you by Prolon. Full disclosure, I think a lot of people can agree with I've never been particularly good about keeping New Year's resolutions, especially when they're about wellness, fitness, losing weight. So whenever I say I want to lose weight, I want to be healthier in the new year, it's really an unlikely resolution that I'm going to stick to because you don't have a plan. And that's what makes Prolon's 5-day program a total game changer. Prolon provides a clear plan with specific meals, making it easy to stay focused and achieve your results. So Prolon's fasting mimicking diet is a revolutionary plant-based nutrition program that nourishes the body while making cells believe they're fasting. Researched and developed for decades at USC's Longevity Institute and backed by leading U.S. medical centers, Prolon helps promote healthy blood sugar, enhanced skin appearance, fat loss, and improved energy and focus. It all starts with their 5-day program. Snacks, soups, and beverages designed to keep your body in a fasting state. There's no guesswork or planning required, which is a relief after the holiday season and at the beginning of the new year when we're all just doing our best. 3 consecutive cycles of Prolon have been shown to reduce your biological age score by an average of 2.5 years and your waist circumference by 1.5 inches. So just in time for the new year, Prolon is offering Toast listeners 15% off their 5-day nutrition program for your post-holiday glow up when you go to prolonlife.com/toast. That's prolonlife.com/toast for that 15% off. prolonlife.com/TOAST. If you're wanting to get into fasting without doing any of the actual fasting part, highly recommend Prolon. Today's episode is also brought to you by Hiya Health. So, typical children's vitamins are basically candy in disguise. It's like we were just talking about, with the Tums. They're filled with 2 teaspoons of sugar, unhealthy chemicals, other gummy additives that growing kids should never be eating, especially in the form of a vitamin. You think it's helping and it's not. So that's why Hiya was created, and they created a super-powered chewable vitamin for kids. While many children's vitamins are filled with 5 grams of sugar, which is known to contribute to a variety of health issues, Hiya is made with 0 sugar and 0 gummy additives, but it tastes great and is perfect for picky eaters. Hiya fills in the most common gaps in modern children's diets to provide the full-body nourishment that our kids need for a yummy taste that they love. It's formulated with the help of pediatricians and nutritional experts. It's pressed with a blend of organic fruits and veggies. Then it is supercharged with 15 essential vitamins and minerals, including D, B12, C, zinc, folate, and a ton of others to help support immune system, energy, brain function, mood, concentration, teeth, bones, and more. They're non-GMO, they're vegan, they're dairy-free, they're allergy-free, they're free of gelatin and nuts, and pretty much everything else you can imagine. Every single batch is third-party tested for heavy metals and microbiomes in a qualified GMP-compliant lab. And Hiya is designed for kids 2 and up. It's sent straight to your door, so parents have one less thing to worry about. Let me tell you, the kids are obsessed with it. You should see the way my niece Michaela flies across the house at the end of the night to get her Hiya vitamins. And also the bottle has cute stickers and stuff. It's really fun. So we've worked out a special deal with Hiya for their best-selling children's vitamin. Receive 50% off your first order. To claim this deal, you must go to hiyahealth.com/toast. This deal is not available on their regular website. Only HIYAHEALTH.com/toast to get your kids the full body nourishment that they need to grow into healthy adults.
Thank you, Turt. Yeah.
That was so genuine. You're welcome.
I mean it. Our first story, some surprising news this morning. Bachelor stars Matt James and Rachael Kirkconnell break up after 4 years together. So Matt James just posted to Instagram this morning a photo of him and Rachael meeting on The Bachelor, saying, "Father God, give Rachael and I strength to mend our broken hearts. Give us a peace about this decision to end our relationship that transcends worldly understanding. Shower our friends and family with kindness and love to comfort us and remind us that our joy comes from you, Lord."
Now, my very first thing I saw when I woke up was this. And I was like, oh my God, Matt James has been hacked. Like, I did not believe this for a second. Then I saw it getting picked up. It's in page 6, OK Magazine. So I'm like, okay, to me this, and so I have a lot of thoughts on these two breaking up, if they did. I am not going to share them because I don't think that they broke up. First of all, the post is very strange. A lot of people are like, why is he tagging a random airport, a random hotel near the airport in Pennsylvania? It's like, oh, you guys have no idea what Nima Cohen is.
The history of Nima Cohen. I thought it was weird that he tagged Nima Cohen, like, period, because they met there like so long ago.
Right. So Matt James was the Bachelor during COVID. And while they usually travel the globe during the Bachelor season, during COVID, they were limited. So they took over this big hotel in Pennsylvania called Nima Cohen. And I've been dying to go ever since. So that's what Nima Cohen is for those who don't know. Because they've really had like a very illustrative career post-Bachelor as like bloggers, influencers, food people. So people maybe don't even know them from the show. I thought the caption was beyond strange. Not to bring religion into it at all, but the verbiage was so like, oh, I'm a hacker from Turkey and this is how Americans talk. Like,
I disagree. I don't think he was hacked. I think that they broke up. I think this is an interesting way to announce it. Also, she hasn't posted anything, but her posting cadence, if you follow her, is not typical. Like, she doesn't post for days or weeks at a time, and then she posts like a recap of her last week or something. So for her not to be online right now is not strange.
And for her most recent in-feed post to be December 4th, which a lot of people is like, well, they've obviously broken up. She's taken a month off. No, if you look back, she posts like once a month.
Yeah, who posts in feed anymore?
No, it's not an indicator for me. She has no stories right now, which... And then people are also like, well, 13 hours ago, he posted a reel of them together. They were in London eating pizza. Now, I think that a lot of people don't realize how many content creators do not post in real time. I think it's very possible that they're back in the States and that trip was 2 weeks ago and they've broken up since. So none of that is like compelling to me. I just don't believe it because it's such a bizarre announcement.
It is not your typical announcement, but...
And the fact that he went rogue and she's still silent when like a lot of public people, even when they like don't end really well, they always release a joint statement just to be like, we're good, leave us alone. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
Well, I think that they broke up, and now in thinking about them and their relationship, I haven't really thought about them in a while. I think it makes sense because they've been dating a really long time, and so either they were about to announce that they're engaged or that they broke up, and I think it could go either way with these things. And now... thinking about them, I really, they've been kind of quiet. I feel like maybe they've been on and off for some time because there's always been like rumors about them. And the way that they started, they obviously met on The Bachelor and then they broke up live on the show.
Very public, yeah.
Yeah, and so they've always been a little touch and go, and that they didn't get engaged sooner. I think, yeah, it's time.
Yeah, when I think about it, like at a glance, these two potentially breaking up, it's surprising, but it's really not. I think that if I were to like really look inward and think about what I think of these two, I feel like I almost see them more as like roommates and friends than like romantic partners. They seem like they get along really well. They have common interests, but
they like to eat.
But it just also feels like it has been so long, especially when you come from The Bachelor, where like it's really crazy. You get engaged after. And so while theirs was a little bit less traditional because they had that big scandal, they broke up, they got back together, you're still used to people from The Bachelor moving in like an orderly fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did they not do that, they maintained a relationship for so many years without progressing.
4 years.
So, yeah, like them being broken up isn't crazy to me. The announcement is so crazy, which is why I am truly in disbelief.
Yeah, it's a crazy announcement. I like when someone shakes it up a little bit. It's not what's expected. It's not a joint statement. Please respect our privacy. It's a public prayer.
Just remind me every 20 minutes to like check my phone to see if like anything happened. Because I'm not convinced.
Okay, so... do you think they're still together?
Well, so a lot of people who are like me, and the thing is, to be clear, I'm not in denial. Like, oh, my faves broke up. I'm not in denial.
You're confused.
I am. And so I think a lot of people are coming up with theories like I am. And a lot of people think that like this is the first clue in many that they're actually engaged. Their relationship has ended as boyfriend and girlfriend.
Give Rachael and I strength to mend our broken hearts. Give us a piece about this decision to end our relationship. That transcends worldly understanding. They have ended their relationship as long as it's not a hacker. Maybe why I find this
shocking, excuse me, hold on.
Bless you.
Maybe why I find this shocking is because I've never known these two to be particularly religious. Like if Hannah Brown broke up with someone and left this as her caption, I'd be like, well, with the good Lord unto you.
Yeah.
Like I don't, and I'm sure everybody's allowed to like be religious and like keep it to themselves. I just don't know this about them as like a characteristic. So it just felt so out of left field too. And I could see like a hacker like LARPing as an American. I don't know. I find it crazy. I don't know.
I just don't think a hacker is this in the weeds and that they've hacked into this big account and this is what they're going to do. So I think their social media, even cadence of posting and things, that it's not really like traditional, like here's every thought and feeling that I have. It's much more curated. Yep. So I think this was like curated, and I think they're broken up. And that's that on that.
I'm in shock.
That they broke up?
No. That like this is how we're finding out.
This is how they went about it.
So weird.
Yeah. Well, good luck to them in this next chapter of their lives.
Yeah, there's a lot of whispers about who these two could date next, which is always a fun game to play with like two hot young things.
They could also go on Paradise.
They shouldn't go on Paradise. They have really, I think the fact that so many people didn't even know what Nima Colin was like really proves how far away from the franchise they are and how they successfully turned into like content creators and celebrities.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they can't date around in the reality
I'm thinking
star
like
pool.
Country star for her.
Love Chase Rice.
Love Chase Rice. He's always available.
I actually could see her with Riley Green.
Ooh.
Even though I ship him and that girl Ella. It look like you love me.
I could see it. There's a lot of
like you want me to want you to come on home. I ended up on like fan fiction about those two.
Could you see her with Craig Conover?
That's what people were saying on social media. I saw it on Liz Woods' Instagram.
That was an original thought, I just want to say.
Oh, yeah, no, you're not the only one.
Because I'm going into the archives.
And I would love, because I also feel like I remember seeing content from them that was like talking about getting engaged and how like Matt, I forget what it was, but it was like the subtext was like that Rachel's sort of like waiting. And that's never a good place to be. It's almost like her and Craig were in the same position.
Yeah.
So
I could see them also just getting along on an interests level.
Yes.
I could see her moving to Charleston and adding value to the show.
I could see that as well.
So
they're both very good looking people. Like it won't be hard.
No, it won't be.
To venture out.
That's fun.
That is fun, but I need a little bit more before I can like really close the chapter on these two. I'm beyond confused.
Okay, well, are you ready for our next story?
Yes.
Wendy Williams is making headlines as she insists that she's not cognitively impaired and feels like she's in prison in a Bombshell Breakfast Club interview. So Wendy Williams called into the Breakfast Club on Thursday morning in a plea for freedom. The 60-year-old and her niece told listeners that she is trapped in a facility in New York with elderly patients without access to her phone or laptop while under guardianship. She called her situation emotional abuse in the Bombshell interview. She said, "I am not cognitively impaired, but I feel like I am in prison. I am definitely isolated. To talk to these people who live here, that is not my cup of tea." She said, "I keep the door closed. I watch TV. I listen to the radio. I watch the window. I sit here and my life goes by." She claimed her cats have been taken and are gone despite her wanting to be with them. And that she is in a conservatorship despite not being cognitively impaired.
So this immediately reminded me of some sort of Frida McFadden book because I could see two different realities. One in which like, this is a person who has been completely taken advantage of, that like literally had money, had people around her who were bad faith actors, and they literally put her in a facility, put her in a conservatorship, and are stealing money from her. And she's trying to get her story out. But I could also see like the plot twist of this book being like, she's actually deeply unwell. She had a moment of lucidity, or this is like a fantasy in her mind. Like what's that movie, Shutter Island, where he's like actually a patient and they're playing this game. Like, I don't know. It gives me the willies. Like, I don't know what reality is.
Yeah, it's like Verity
because
also.
It's not like there hasn't been like a couple of years of, we've seen Wendy Williams over the last couple of years like struggle publicly with like health things and then also be on camera caught by TMZ looking a little and sounding a little, not so clear. So it's not like there isn't, but maybe they laid that path for us.
Right.
I don't know what's true here.
I don't know either. But it's a scary one to think about the first situation.
It's almost too terrible to think about.
Yeah.
Like I hope, like not that I want her to be unwell, but I hope that the truth is that she is dealing with some sort of, she's incapacitated in some way, and that's why she's been placed under the care of these people and under a conservatorship and a guardianship. Because if it is the alternative, and what she said this morning is completely true, like it's a horror.
It's a horror, yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm just like saying it to make myself feel better because I refuse to like believe there's someone living literally in a prison. Like she's kidnapped, if that's true.
Yeah.
How'd she get access to a phone? I need to know more about the niece too.
Yeah, the niece was there helping her and like sharing more details of the situation. So
and, like maybe this niece is taking advantage of this elderly sick woman. Like I don't know. There's a lot. I need Frida to write a book about it to just explain it to me.
Yeah, but then the end would be the cliffhanger. Kind of like the end of Juror number 2, by the way. Like, what is they're saying? Is he going...
Okay, so, spoiler alert. So many people, when I watched the movie, were like, what did you think of the ending? What do you think happened? Is it a fucking mystery? Why else would the DA show up at somebody's house to chat?
The police didn't show up with handcuffs.
I know, maybe she was giving him a heads up or something. But like, if she wasn't going to turn him in, why on God's green diddly dally earth would that bitch be at this guy's house?
Oh, I thought if they wanted to let you know for sure that he was going away for it, the police would have come and arrested him. They have like the evidence.
Maybe they were right behind Toni Collette. She just wanted to give him a heads up because they had like this weird friendship. Like, it was so clear to me, like, you're going to jail. Like,
do you think that he should go to jail?
I think that had he come forward, it would have been a lot different. But now it looks like a bad faith actor. And why would someone believe him that like this is exactly how it happened? Because he's been caught. So you say anything when you're caught, you know?
Yeah, but it's like Kiefer Sutherland said, with his record, this would have been strike 2 and they would have, jail for life.
Right. Oh, Kiefer Sutherland did say that. Yeah.
So
I was like, are you quoting Kiefer Sutherland? Or like, I forgot he was in the movie. Yeah. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. It's hard to think about.
Yeah. And it's hard to think about Wendy Williams. Like, seriously, wishing her well. Wendy Williams is a queen. I think her impact as a woman in media is often overlooked, actually, like dead seriously.
When we talk about the greats.
When we talk about the greats and when we talk about people who like actually moved the needle and actually like entertained people for so many years, like we don't talk about her. Like we talk about Ellen, but Wendy Williams often gets overlooked by the historians. And she's the type of person who actually needs a documentary because...
Claudia, there was just one.
About Wendy? Or was it about her situation, like her conservatorship? I mean her overarching career, because she had a Lifetime original movie about her that was like dramatized. I watched it.
You liked it?
Tell you, it was, I liked it in the way that I like Hallmark movies. Like they're terrible pieces of shit, you know? But my takeaways from it were like really how she came up in radio and went on to become like one of the longest running women in daytime. It's actually really impressive and nobody talks about it. And I think if they gave her like a proper documentary, people would really respect her. But I do think she gets written off a little bit. Do you feel that? Like we're just like, oh, crazy Wendy Williams.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if it's because of like what's happening now or...
No, and when you think of her cultural impact, like so many like viral TikTok sounds like are literally just Wendy Williams. Like,
yeah.
Are you a Nicki fan? Am I a Nicki fan? Pull up in the... What did Wendy Osefa from Real Housewives of Potomac? She misquoted the... Nicki Minaj line. Am I a Nicki fan? Pull up in the monster. No, the real lyrics is put up in the monster automobile gangster, but she says, pull up in the Sri Lanka. Also, clap if you're fat. Like there are so many Wendy Williams. She's so funny. So I'm going to choose to remember Wendy this way.
Yeah. Are you ready for our next story?
Yeah.
So fans are trying to give Leighton Meester the Heidi Pratt treatment. Leighton Meester's fans hype up the actress's underappreciated pop music to help her rebuild her home after the LA fires. So Leighton Meester and Adam Brody, their house was one of the first to burn down in the LA fires. And now fans are starting to hype up her music that she released back in the day and try and do for Leighton what the internet did for Heidi's music as well. So songs...
I love this. The fact that her songs are just re-entering the zeitgeist, I'll never be upset about. However, do we know that they didn't have insurance? Like the thing why everybody felt so compelled to help Spencer and Heidi has been very vocal that Farmers Insurance dropped them. Like he's been outspoken about that. So I don't know if Leighton and Adam are in the same situation. They're also not in the same situation because I think like financially they're a lot better off than like two former reality stars who are like active content creators versus, he has a hit show on Netflix. I think she chooses to work when she wants to work. Like I think they're very different situations.
Yeah, but her songs are coming back into the fold. Now, of course, Somebody to Love, Your Love's a Drug. I don't know how the royalties on Summer Girl would get to her because it is from the movie musical Country
by, like,
Strong.
Warner Brothers.
And I do wish the initiative was a little more like, let's all watch Country Strong to support Leighton.
Yeah, because that is a challenge I could definitely be a part of. But I think every now and then we're reminded of the great work she did in the music industry. And so if this is just another reminder for a young generation to be influenced by her music and her work, then I'm not upset about it. I just want to say I don't think it's the same situation as Heidi and Spencer.
Yeah, also Good Girls Go Bad. And she did have a debut album, Heartstrings, with Universal Republic. No, that was independently released. Oh, so that's even more.
Oh, so we should be streaming her independent music.
But previously she was with Universal Republic with Your Love's a Drug.
That was really crazy how her decision after Gossip Girl was to become a pop star, which was a brilliant decision. And I don't think any of the other girls had the same goals, so it wasn't competitive at all. And how she really made an impact. Even at the time, like she was popping off. It's not like now we look back and be like, no. And then she just sort of decided she didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Wow, who would give up a career like that? She was like giving them bitches a run for their money.
No, I feel like she's a real one. Like she really keeps herself. I think she just like lives her life as in a happy marriage, works.
Now, yes, she's very settled.
Works to work, but maybe all of the glitz and glam in the industry like wasn't for her. And she's also in that show Parenthood. Like let's not forget, which is a big show.
Favorite Leighton Meester moments is like actually somewhat recently after her and Seth Cohen had been married for a while. They don't do like a lot of press together. And I think one of the first times they did an interview together, like Entertainment Tonight, the interviewer was like, do you guys understand like the impact of Leighton Meester, Blair Waldorf marrying Seth Cohen? And they were like, no, like they literally don't give a fuck. And then, by the way, Jackie, they gave the fans nothing. They were like, we get it. Like we were both on shows, but like,
they are like so wrong for that. I just want to say.
You have to watch the interview. It's like this girl, and it was a good question. I can't blame the journalist. She was like, do you get it? Like what it means to so many people. And she was like, no. She was like, what do you mean? Like we're married.
We're on
like,
TV shows.
And we act. Like she was just like very literal about it.
Oh my God, that is so
And I
funny.
get it. She wasn't like a teenager who got to appreciate Blair Waldorf and Seth Cohen, but like she doesn't get it. And I don't think she wants to get it either.
No.
Yeah. And I feel like he plays with like the internet. He like, he knows he's like playing a part. Like Seth Cohen, like he does it for like his work and then he goes home and rolls his eyes. She gives the people nothing. I love it.
Nothing. Well, stream Leighton if you want to support.
Some of us never stopped. I'm just a summer girl. Like,
I wear
seriously?
my flip-flops and when I get my hair down, the party never stops, and who needs a boyfriend? I got my girlfriends.
Like that song is so good. That whole album from the Country Strong soundtrack is just fucking incredible. But the Leighton songs in particular, they're not all original songs. They're like
covers,
like a Sarah Evans song. Yeah, they're covers. They're brilliant. They are brilliant beyond brilliant. Of course, there are original songs because I'm country strong. Like so many good ones. But I highly recommend taking a deep dive in the Country Strong soundtrack.
I recommend streaming Country Strong to support.
And watching.
And listening to the album.
Oh, I saw a really funny interview. My boyfriend, Tim Riggins, Taylor Kitsch. I'm sure he gets asked this all the time. Like, would you have a reboot? And he was like, no. If they asked me to like come, they're doing a reboot and they wanted me to play like a coach for another team, I would maybe do an episode. But like I'm not committing. I'm not becoming Riggins again. Like I don't want to be doing multiple seasons of it. And I found it so refreshing. Like obviously I'm devastated, but like why can't we let perfect things remain perfect? And I feel like I don't know if it was, and I don't think he's so booked and busy that he would like, be too good for the job. I think he just like likes the work that he did and wants to leave it alone. And I was like, I wish we could get more comfortable answering this. Like, yes, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, but also a lot of those shows, when the people are like in their young adult years, like they don't look back on them as fondly as we remember it. Like
they're traumatic.
It's like toxic,
Yep.
They're not as obsessed with it as we are. So we have to
Having said that, I just know that Scott Porter saw that interview and cried because he's ready.
Yeah.
He is RWA, ready, willing, and able.
Are you ready for our next story?
If it's our next story, that's brought to you by Thrive Cosmetics.
It is.
So whether you like fresh face, full glam, or a little something in between, you've probably seen Thrive Cosmetics viral tubing mascara all over your social media. It's the turquoise tube that Turdy uses. I got a fresh tube 2 days ago. I guess I didn't realize I was literally scraping the bottom of my last one. Like this new tube has given me like a whole new lease on life. Like every time I sit and do my makeup, I feel different. That was my gateway drug to Thrive Cosmetics. I've been a Thrive customer like before they were a sponsor, but now obviously like I'm sort of like a spokesperson for the company, I guess you could say. So the mascara that's like super viral, the one that I use, it's a tubing mascara. I'd never used a tubing mascara before. It's called the Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara. It lasts all day, very true. I put my makeup on at 9 a.m. yesterday, all the way out to dinner with Brian. I got home at 9 o'clock. I looked fabulous. It doesn't clump, it doesn't smudge, and it doesn't flake. It looks like lash extensions, but you don't have the damaging glue or the salon pricing. It's also really easy to take off. It slides right off with warm water and a washcloth. There's no soap required. The ingredients are nourishing and they support longer, stronger, and healthier looking lashes over time. They also have the flake-free tubing formula, which lengthens and defines your lashes from root to tip. I love this mascara. I have like lash issues. I have really straight lashes. They're really long, but they don't hold a curl, so you would never know how long they are. And it wasn't until I found the tubing mascara from Thrive Cosmetics, so like I actually look like I'm alive some days. Thrive Cosmetics is luxury beauty that gives back. And right now you can get 20% off your first order at thrivecosmetics.com/toast. They have a ton of other products that are fabulous, like hydrating lip tints, eye brighteners. Go to Thrive, CAUSEMETICS.com/toast for 20% off your first order. Today's episode is also brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. So whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything, from products to content to time, all in one place and all on your own terms. There are so many fabulous features that Squarespace offers to get your website up and running, but also looking really professional. So they have design intelligence. They combine 2 decades of industry-leading design expertise with cutting-edge AI technology to unlock your strongest creative potential. Design intelligence empowers anyone to build a beautiful, more personalized website tailored to their unique needs. And you can craft a bespoke digital identity to use across your entire online presence. They're also offering Squarespace payments. It's the easiest way to manage your payments all in one place with Squarespace. It's really fast to onboard and very simple. You can get started with just a few clicks and start receiving payments right away. Plus, you can give your customers more ways to pay with popular payment methods like Klarna, ACH Direct Debit, Apple Pay, Afterpay, and ClearPay, which is what they use in the UK. So if you're looking to get a website up and running, check out Squarespace. Can't recommend it enough. And go to squarespace.com for a free trial. When you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/toast. There, you will save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Only when you go to squarespace.com/toast for that 10% off of your first purchase of a website or a domain. And head over to squarespace.com if you're looking for that free trial.
Thank you, Claude Space.
Oh, just Claude.
Claude Space.
Just Claude.
Our next story, some interesting marketing news, because the cast of a show called Severance has drawn huge crowds in Grand Central Station to promote season 2 of their show called Severance.
Why are you saying it like that? Have you never heard it?
I just feel like if I keep saying Severance without like making it known that it's the show called, like it could get lost in the sentence.
Oh, okay, because it's also like a word.
Yes, so the acclaimed Apple TV series called Severance deployed an unlikely marketing tactic ahead of its second season, which returns on Friday. The series cast, including Adam Scott, Britt Lauer, Zach Cherry, Tremel Tillman, and Patricia Arquette, all gathered as their respective characters at Grand Central Station on Tuesday. Several social media users posted videos of the installment and documented the cast portraying their characters in their makeshift office space in the center of the train station. So it's just like this glass box and all the actors are in there like kind of literally LARPing their characters for the show to drum up some excitement for their new show Severance season 2.
You know, it's hard to stand out when there's so many TV shows, and this is a popular show. I watched the beginning of the last season. It gave me such a pit.
Really?
I had to turn it off. I found myself like, I'm not a person who suffers from like depression or anxiety. I felt actively depressed and really anxious.
Why?
Like, it's a show about like a very high stress job. I think they work in finance. I think it's in the UK. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. I watched it a really long time ago. And it's like very high stakes, and it's the way it's filmed is like very gray. It's just like, I really like had a very physical reaction to the show. Me and Ben were like, we were really disturbed for the rest of the night, and I just never forgot it. I never want to watch it. People love it. And it was a long time ago, so there's been a lot of hype for the second season, and I think that, you know, there's so many TV shows out there, and it's hard to stand out when it comes to promoting your content. I thought this was kind of brilliant. It, of course, reminded me of where Carrie met Alexander Petrovsky, where that artist was like sitting in a glass box for 24 hours, no food, no water, you know? Like, it was giving performance art.
It is performance art, but these are, you know, artists, performers, and I think it's really putting them to work in a good way. They're literally LARPing, so I like that. And I agree. now that I think of it, I've heard of the show Severance. I've seen like posters for it, but it never really stood out from the heap of other shows. And this stands out. Now, maybe I would have watched it if you said something better about it, but no, I don't want to feel those feelings you just described, so I'll set this one out.
Like, maybe it was just me, because I know people love it, but like you guys, I was seriously not okay.
Was like anything disturbing happening, or was just like the fast-paced nature was like just giving you anxiety?
The whole thing was giving me anxiety, and then I remember at the very end of the first episode, I don't want to say, hold on, let me just triple check. Severance episode 1, season 1. Ending. Like, I'm pretty sure something happened at the very end of the first episode
That was disturbing.
Like, really gave me a pit.
Mm.
Okay, maybe not. I don't remember. I just remember like really having like a not good time while watching it.
Understood. Well, also Ben Stiller is like the director of this, so he was like there like filming videos.
In Grand Central, like having the best time.
Yeah, and I'm happy for Team Severance. Like, your thing.
I just feel like it's a particularly unglamorous task to like stand in Grand Central. And these are like celebrities,
of course,
who like seriously haven't been on a train, and they haven't been on the train station like at the subway. Like, I just imagine like when they got booked for this, they were like, oh
no, they haven't worked this hard in a while.
Yeah, like, because it's very physical too. Like, they had to be walking around and being like, whoa, look at this file. Like, I imagine while we're all enjoying it and like praising its marketing positives, the actual people doing it were like, this fucking blows.
Yeah, but they did it. And maybe they didn't have to. And so I think that is good and exciting for the fans of the show, and will drum up more interest in the show for sure.
Yeah, it was giving the boy in the plastic bubble. They were in this like actual clear box. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that is really funny.
No, it was smart. I liked it.
Mm-hmm. Are you ready for our fifth and final story?
Wow.
I know.
Bidding is such sweet sorrow, sure.
Well, Jen Shah's prison sentence has been reduced again, and she will be home before Thanksgiving 2026, reports are reporting.
Not to sound like Sandra Bullock, but like harsher punishment for, you know, elder abuse. How does she keep getting out of prison so quick?
I don't know. So she would be home in about less than 2 years, and it's like, she's doing her time. She's definitely not getting any leniency because of who she is. And so she will likely come home when the show is still on the air. I thought by the time she got out of prison, the show would be long gone and it would just move on. But no, she will come back to this show.
How long will she have served?
When did she go in?
I believe it was an 8-year sentence.
I think she pled guilty in July 2022. So okay. She got sentenced January 2023 and went to prison February 2023. And then by March, her sentence was lessened by 1 year. And now it has been. So 2023 to 2026.
3 years. And her original sentence was what? Am I correct? In
6.5 years.
Got it. So okay. And so I know every state is different. So you can't compare like one person's sentencing to another. But I'm always thinking about the Chrisleys, who got like such a harsh sentencing. And every time they appeal, every time they get denied everything. Like, they cannot catch a fucking break, these people. And their crimes were very similar to Jen Shah's. Actually, theirs were, in my opinion, a little bit lesser, because they were stealing from banks. Like, who gives a fuck? She was stealing from like your grandma, and that's pretty rough. So I don't know. I know like everybody like, haha, Jen Shah. Like, it's literally not funny. Like, not to be a narc, but like, she literally stole from your grandma and like ruined several people's lives, like the disabled, the elderly. Like, it's actually what she did. Because I know when people commit financial crimes, we're like, well, you know, it's victimless crime, whatever. Or like tax evasion, celebrities like Teresa Giudice, like, who gives a fuck? Make the situation, rob the government. You're not gonna see me caring. But Jen Shah's like somebody who committed a financial crime and like actually really hurt people and vulnerable people. So I don't see the memes that I'm like, haha, I'm like, oh, you're literally a criminal, bitch. Like, bye.
So do you think that they'll have her back on the show when she gets out?
Of course.
Yeah.
Bravo doesn't give a fuck.
No,
like,
they don't have like actual scruples when it comes to like morally bankrupt individuals.
People.
Plus, the precedent is there. Teresa came back on the show after serving time. And I think for Bravo, it's like, well, you did the crime, you served your time. Well, why are we going to miss out on entertainment value?
Yeah, and it's actually been very interesting to see the show go on without Jen Shah and really prosper without her. Whereas like the show for Real Housewives of New Jersey was like very much in this terrible state of limbo until Teresa got back. Like, they had these the twins and Amber Marchese. Like, that was some of the darkest times.
But they
on
didn't
reality
film
TV.
Without her. They waited for her.
There was one season without her.
I'm pretty sure
twins?
they waited for her, though. Like, I know what you're talking about. That season, it feels like she wasn't there. But then I remember reading, like, she was in prison for a year, and they waited.
No fucking way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. Teresa. By the way, you're 100% right. She never missed a season.
Yeah. So maybe she was laying low for one reason or another that season with the twins, but she was there.
So Amber Marchese was on season 6.
Okay.
And so was Tree. Wait, that's so crazy that I don't remember it that way. I remember there being like dire
You
times.
thought that she was there because Tree wasn't, and the twins were there to fill Tree's void.
Yeah.
Because they literally started filming when she came home from prison, like that night. Cameras up.
So the Real Housewives of New Jersey focused on Teresa, Melissa, and Dina. Dina returned after originally leaving the series in season 2, and former cast members Jacqueline Larita and Kathy Wakili appeared periodically throughout the season, but they were replaced, as was Caroline Manzo, by Teresa, Amber Marchese, and Nicole Napolitano. Like those 3 turn housewives. Oh man, that's like so interesting. I always thought that they were, the way I remember it, Mandela effect, is like, no, they literally like were trying to hold it down without Tree and couldn't get arrested.
Yeah, no.
That's so funny. Oh my God. Okay, never mind. Well, what I mean is that Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is having a banner year. People are obsessed with it. And I actually found when Jen was on and like actively being arrested, actively being investigated by the FBI, some of the worst fucking TV I've ever seen in my life, when it should have been magnifique. It was literally, they were literally all handed careers because of that. Like it was the things that dreams are made of for a reality star. And the fact that they were all like fighting over dumb things that had nothing to do with Jen. I'm like, are you guys dumb? Like what's going on? So the fact that like not a lot of time is going to pass between, it felt like if and when Jen came back to the show, it would have been like 6, 7, 8 years. That like the stories between them, like whatever. But now it's like all still kind of fresh. They're all like always still like actively talking about and being asked about Jen. I'm sure she reads about it in prison. Like she will have a laundry list of things to talk to Heather Gay about. Like that. And I don't really want to go back there, honestly.
Well, it's not like we're watching currently.
Yeah, but I heard it's so good.
Yeah, I have heard really good things, but I guess she will be back whenever she comes out. But she's kind of like one of these people who's just like a agent of chaos, where I think like she just wanted to make like the best, craziest, interesting TV, but it didn't make sense. And I don't like that. Like, I don't mind someone being like a supervillain when they're consistent, but she would just like say things just to like disrupt a dinner. And it's like, this is not grounded in anything.
Yeah, she wasn't grounded to any person even in particular. She had like one friend that she wouldn't turn on. People like that who like seriously just for the sake of entertaining, just try and come for everyone and everything and say everything. It's actually like not fun to watch because like we're supposed to be believing that this is a group of friends who have like actual ties to one another. And when she was so untethered, just like coming for everyone, I was like,
yeah, that's not my favorite. I know it's like crazy and like pops off, but like it just doesn't make sense to me.
I know, and there's no continuity. And that's what I found like frustrating. It's like, well, literally 3 minutes ago, you were saying the nastiest things, but now you're crying that this is your best friend. That's confusing.
Yeah.
I like when I can see like clear alliances and like who's actually friends.
Yeah.
Because this is always supposed to be about like a group of women who are friends. And now we've gotten to a point where it's such a job that like they're all virtual strangers until they meet.
Yeah. But
and when they're not filming, they don't hang.
It hits harder when it's like friendships and there's history. Even if the drama isn't crazy, that's like Beverly Hills. It's just two friends who are kind of like like ships passing right now and like they're missing each other. But because the friendship like runs so deep, it's what makes it interesting.
Yeah. Now would be the time for you to share whatever thing you had to say about the ending of Juror number 2.
Oh my God. So no, not the ending necessarily, but just the whole movie. Like I had such a pit for this guy. Like, could there be a worse feeling in the world than like having killed someone? And like facing, like accidentally, like you didn't do it on purpose.
You weren't drinking.
You like realize that you've killed someone, like you have to go to jail. Like,
now I had thought that at the end when they were showing us like flashback scenes, I thought they were going to make it so that he actually like
had the drink.
Guilty. No, wasn't guilty. Because they were like, they're showing him driving and the boyfriend driving and the boyfriend turns around. And I was like, wait, that would have been actually really good if they like fucked with us. And then he still thinks that he did it. And he looks so guilty that he ends up going to prison for a crime he didn't commit. Like, I thought that would have been like a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, or it's like maybe someone hit her first and then he did hit a deer and it just happened to be like right after. But that would have let us off the hook too much. Like morally, we wouldn't have to like deal with this really hard question of like, does this person who is was a drug dealer who has done like he is a criminal who is going to jail for something that he didn't do. Does Nicholas Hoult deserve to go to jail when he has a baby at home and he's an otherwise good person? Like
an upstanding citizen. Yeah. It was also interesting. I've never been a part of a jury. And I can only imagine what goes on in those rooms, like for real. Like, and there definitely are people who like don't care, who just want to like get back to work. Like the lady was a bus driver. Like I felt her. Like seriously, not my problem. Like I have kids, I have a job. Like I gotta go. And there are a lot of dynamics at play. So I felt like it was like getting behind the scenes, and it wasn't a real jury room, but I'm sure a lot of them go down like that. Where some people are just like so stubborn. Some people are like so weak. Like one person says something, they're like, yeah. And then, oh, actually, no, yeah. Like, I think it's such an interesting like dynamic of humanity that I thought they did a good job showing those like jury scenes too. Cause it was like, God, people are such fucking losers.
Yeah. And it really is like one person, it's worth a conversation.
Right. But that's also the crazy thing about a jury. It's like there can't even be one. It's not majority rules. Like it's not 12-1. It's 11-1. It's 12-0.
Right. And then if one person won't budge, it's a hung jury.
Yeah.
He should have let it be a hung jury, though.
No, because if it's a hung jury,
he'll get tried again.
Yeah, like they can go back and reinvestigate. That's what his lawyer was saying. Like getting this guy guilty like helps you personally.
Yeah, unless
he opening his big fat mouth in the jury room and being like, "Well,
unless they could get a not guilty verdict, because." That's like Casey Anthony, right? She was not guilty, but they didn't go back out and try and find the person who did it.
Yeah, there wasn't any evidence like of anybody else. That's the thing.
Right.
Like it was clearly Casey.
But if he could have gotten not guilty and not had put the prosecutors onto the idea that it was someone else, they would have moved on. So that would have been ideal. But then when it was clear
that list of cars was then added to the file, like there was mounting evidence, like for like if a new investigator sat down and looked, like they would have said maybe it's not this guy, maybe it could be someone else.
Yeah.
No, it was definitely a good movie. Like it made you think. Me and Ben like we're talking about it a lot afterwards. Like, what do you think is right? It really posed this like ethical dilemma that there is no right answer to. Like that boyfriend was like a woman beating drug dealer. Like bye.
Yeah. But prison for life, he didn't do that.
He didn't do that thing. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really care. Like,
yeah, no, and it's like it's just a shame because this Nicholas Hoult has really changed his whole life, and like one accident,
right?
You know, because I think if under regular circumstances, say he hadn't had that prior DUI and like this history, and if he had come forward and said, "Oh my gosh, like I thought it was a deer," blah blah blah, like there would have been consequences.
No, but
it's also about intent.
In the moment, if he knew he hit this girl and killed her and called the police and they showed up and they're like, oh, there's a inebriated woman walking in the rain in the dark on a curvy road. This guy takes a breathalyzer. He's not drunk. Like they probably wouldn't have pressed charges. So the crime itself like really wasn't a crime.
Right.
That's what they always say, bitch. It's the crime, not the cover up.
No, but and even if he came forward a year later and was like, oh my gosh, I think this was me. I thought I hit a deer. The issue is that he had ordered a drink at the bar. They can't prove that he didn't drink it. They know he's an alcoholic formerly and that he's had a DUI in the past. So it lines up to be something else because they couldn't breathalyze him.
The movie was kind of brilliantly done. Like they made the situation like impossible.
Yeah, it's an impossible situation.
So I enjoyed it. I thought Zoe Deutsch was great.
Yeah.
Toni Collette, queen in her shoes. Like it was good.
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, that was a...
Kiefer Sutherland.
Touch. Everybody was star-studded.
It was star-studded.
Clint and
Francesca. And the boyfriend, what's he in? He looks familiar looking.
I never saw him before. He looks like he was from an episode of SVU. Like a character actor.
Oh, no, I've seen him in something. Let me find out what, and then we can bid you farewell. Gabriel Basso.
There's no update on Matt James, so just like letting everyone know.
Hillbilly Elegy. Yeah, he played J.D. Vance in Hillbilly Elegy.
What?
Yeah. Older JD.
That's so funny.
Didn't you see that?
I did see that movie, but by the way, nothing new from Matt James. Oh, no. But I did not recognize him in the slightest.
I recognized him, and that is so funny. And then also he was in one of my favorite movies, Barely Lethal, starring Haley Steinfeld and Dove Cameron.
Of course.
And Sophie Turner. Don't sleep on that one.
That's funny. That's our show.
I think that's it. Tomorrow shall be a Cosdale celebrate.
Oh, thank God. Like, we needed this.
Yeah. So we bid you adieu.
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 I want to see that movie Night Bitch.
With Amy Adams.
Yeah.
Okay, do it.
Yeah, just reminded me because Amy Adams was in Hillbilly Elegy.
Maybe you don't want to see it. Hold on.
Why? Something bad happened?
I think it's just like not the sort of thing you would want to watch pregnant. I don't know why I get that vibe. I feel like
it's just like a inside look on how hard it is to be a stay-at-home mom. Is that not it?
It's also like a horror. An artist who pauses her career to be a stay-at-home mom seeks a new chapter in her life and encounters just that when her nightly routine takes a surreal turn and her maternal instincts begin to manifest in canine form.
Wait, what? She becomes a dog?
Her maternal instincts manifest in canine form.
Oh, it's not at all like how the movie was marketed towards me on TikTok. Like, I saw it as like this powerful film.
It's magical realism. Magical realism.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God, never mind.
That reminds me of that show on Netflix with Drew Barrymore where they would eat people. The Santa Clarita diet.
Yeah. All right, you guys, that's our show. Thank you so much for listening to the Toast and Lenny Morning Show, where we deliver the fast five stories you need to know every Monday through Friday on YouTube. So you're watching us on YouTube. Please feel free to subscribe to this video. Thumbs up. We're also available as a podcast and where podcasts can be found. So it's Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Radio, iHeartRadio, CastBox, all the places where we listen podcast. Find us at Toast. Leave a 5-star review. What a beautiful, and wickedly talented we are.
Love ya. Bye.